Are back with another Summit der Langrisser stream. This one is a re-attempt at one of the matches that I was signed up for earlier in the week, but the competitors couldn't make it. This time they can, and we are excited and ready to watch. We have got Leumas versus Onasi. While the competitors are getting ready, friending each other, and getting ready to load into their match, I'm just going to quickly share my stream on the Discord so that no one misses this, and I will be right back. Okay, that didn't take long. Let's do the more important thing, arguably, of bringing up the actual chats so I can see what y'all are saying. Twitch, hello? Wow. YouTube, hello? John McNamara, we got an Onasi fan in the crowd already. Nice. Love to see it. Alright. It looks like the competitors have just queued in against each other. I see the little eyeball icon next to Leumas' name, so let's hop in, make sure we don't miss anything. Mistress of Bully, good to see you. Okay, so we've got Leumas as player 1. We're on the desert map, and both players have first banned Z2 already. Leumas taking that opportunity to first pick Gintoki. Okay, everything looks very meta in Leumas' box. Onasi with a very similar box, except he's got an Archon in here as well. Looking to take advantage of the fact that relatively fewer players are running Hilda this season, so he has a little bit more of an opportunity to grapple and displace people. Does make him a pretty dangerous long-range threat. Onasi as player 2, opting to go with the first pick Lightbringer rather than a DPS, just to ensure that he does have a tank to hide behind. Could help weather an early storm if Leumas wants to make the jump and attack first. Usually player 1 has better opportunities to do that. But Leumas is going to ban out the Gintoki and also the Rosenseal, so taking out another prime DPS and taking out that really excellent sustain healer. You really hate to have to go up against a Lightbringer and a Rosenseal. You also hate to go up against a Rosenseal if you're planning on bringing out early AoE units like this Polyel here, like Leumas is doing. Polyel is actually a great pick, not just for her explosion, but people tend to overrate or underrate the utility of her tiles, giving the rest of your team that ability to kind of catch up with her much more quickly. So when she puts her tiles down, any allies who are moving through that get a chance to ignore a tile of mobility penalties. So it can help otherwise slower units get into the action a little bit quicker. Definitely helpful on this map. Okay, so we have a cheering squad for Onasi and a cheering squad for Leumas in the chat. Good, we've got some balance. So Onasi does bring Sissy out second, the only other healer in the box. Once your Rosenseal's banned, you do want to have some kind of healing there. And Leumas bringing in an IBC as well to help give a boost. Can definitely boost the Gintoki, can boost the Polyol as well to help her get a little bit further forward and have a better springboard for her tile jump. And now Onasi definitely looking to pick up some magical DPS that can hide with this tank and potentially destroy this Gintoki. Range and magic, one of his weaknesses. Annie is a really good Gintoki killer as well with Fireball, so Annie and Lucretia both good options there. Alright, and there's that Archon. So the only thing about that Archon, IBC's defensive formation can prevent displacement, although I highly doubt that Leumas is going to want to go in that direction with this box. This is a very aggressive team comp, and she's really there to increase that aggression level. Leumas is not going to really be thinking about being defensive or reactive against one pick on Onasi's side there. And D-Hard a good last pick here. Depending on the builds, some D-Hearts are able to kill some Gintokis. Polyol usually has a revive. But D-Heart's stun is also pretty useful as well. So overall, Leumas going all in with this, basically, not rush per se, but a very aggressive DPS comp. Hey Pizza, welcome to the chat. It's going pretty good. Just getting this match started here. Been waiting to cast this one for about a week. And then after this is done, I just got a brand new ultra-wide monitor sitting in the studio behind me, so I'm still... This is basically the last stream on my old microscopic monitor. Once I'm done... Actually, once this Apex window is over, gonna be setting up a new desk, setting up this new ultra-wide monitor, and then seeing what that's gonna mean for my stream. I'll be able to have a lot more stuff going on the screen at the same time. I'll have more control over what I can see. Dreadful Cobra, welcome to the chat. Good to see ya. Absol. Absol, I actually just got done watching your match against Mikey Likes It about, well, 10-15 minutes ago. Just enough time for me to eat a chicken and then come down here and start streaming. Oh yeah, Punisher, also looking forward to this match. So yeah, I said Leumas has a very aggressive comp here. Onasi a bit more balanced. He does have lots of offensive options, so he does have the D-Heart there. He does have the Lucretia with her magical damage potential. And Archon as a potential scary ambush unit. Overall, I think I give the edge to Leumas here, especially as player 1, but let's see what the players opted for in terms of loadouts. So this Polyol is going to be going with a double AoE setup, and Leumas's Polyol... Is that a 3-star? Is that a 3-star Polyol? 5. Okay. He does have the Gargoyles on Watham to help him with mobility on this map, that's fine. He doesn't have a McLean to contend with on the other side, so he doesn't need to fly to deal with terrain. Or to deal with the wet terrain, anyway. This Lostum here is bringing Faceless, which basically just lets him get an extra square of range on his 2C attack. Normally if you're running Sand Seas on him, they only join the attack up to 2 range, so this gives him a little bit more range and flexibility for where he can hit someone from. On the other side here, we have Lightbringer, who has brought Horsey troops to help her... Oh, look! And this is going to be where those Faceless come in handy. This is going to allow the Lostum to attack from 3 spaces away and snipe the Golem before anything has even happened. So he'll claw back to a Dune here, which does put him in position where he's vulnerable. But that doesn't really give Archon... I mean, he could springboard off him, but it doesn't really give him any juicy victims. The Lucretia has brought 1 AoE and 1 single target. Yeah, Holy Polyols don't use Apex Boots. If he wants the extra range... on Holy, you have to use Divine Boots, which does nerf her attack power. So it's really a toss-up of if you want to go for a aggressive jump-in sooner Polyol with the boots, or if you want to use another accessory like Judge Talisman, for example, for bigger explosions. And yes, like Absol said, a lot of players will be pivoting back to Lancer once SP Leon gets released. You will see some Lancers being played right now, even. The Gintoki factor, at least at my level, isn't really that much of a factor for her survivability. Gintoki is going to be killing her as a Lancer or as a Holy, regardless, so... But Holy's an easy buff for Lightbringer as well, so that's one thing to think about in the meantime. So basically, yeah, the win con on Onasi's side is really going to be if he's able to get an advantageous trade down, and then he can weather the Gintoki. Okay, Watham is going to jump in right away as well. This is where those flying troops come in handy. Watham able to just hop right up on this pillar here, not impeded by terrain at all, and then take out that D-Heart. Poor D-Heart. The unlucky recipient, unlucky frontline recipient of one of Watham's debuffs, which was placed on him after Lostum killed the Golem, so that is a real brutal and real fast 1-2 punch there. Okay, so we are going to have the Archon springboarding off this Lostum, and let's see. Oh, he's just going to settle for killing the Lostum. Alright, no reason for Leumas to let up on the gas. Easy first kill on that Archon. Archon also had no water there after buff strips, so he is a fully disabled and small revive Archon. Easy cleanup for whoever wants it. Onasi is going to have turn priorities, so he may have the ability to go after this Gintoki with his Lucretia, although Lucretia without the Golem... not exactly the best right-away setup. Okay, easy cleanup for this Polyol AoE. And actually, we have a stunned Lucretia anyway. You couldn't have asked for a more perfect first turn setup from Leumas. This stun can easily be removed by the healer, but at that point you've already used a turn to remove it, which lets Leumas do something else extremely damaging. Like another follow-up AoE from her, for example. Bringing Gintoki in. So he doesn't really need to worry about that first turn Lucretia on Gintoki anymore. Also, if this is a... I mean, she's got a lot of attack. If she were a Judge Talisman Polyol, it's certainly possible she could just explode this Lucretia right out of the water now. But we'll see what Leumas wants to do first. Okay, so he is going to go for the explosion. Very close, but not quite enough to finish off this Lucretia. That said, she is in rough shape. We still have Gintoki and Watham to come in if they want to. Yeah, Gintoki with the easy... Okay, yeah. It was just too much of a shitstorm for Onasi there. I'd say the main mistake Onasi made was not realizing or recognizing that D-Heart had that Watham debuff and putting him up front in range of Watham to just come in and pick him off. If he was able to keep Watham, or to keep D-Heart hidden back out of range of that initial turn 1 onslaught, then he may have been able to use him on the second turn follow-up or something like that. Alright, let's ban this son of a bitch. Yeah, unfortunately, Lucretia was stunned at that point. So we are going to have... Oh, it's a rematch of the same map. How often does that happen? It happens a lot. It happens a lot. That's okay. Now the players are accustomed to the map. It makes it a little bit more fair. They can each have a time, each have a turn as player 1, neither side making any adjustments to their box. So Leumas is going to stick with this meta box as player 2. There's enough tools in here to be able to flex a little bit more defensively. He's banning out the Z2, just like he did in the last game. And let's see if Onasi is able to leverage this box a bit more aggressively as player 1. So we have the Z2 ban here as well. Onasi as player 1 opting to take Gintoki first here and rather than the Lightbringer. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised to see Leumas ban the Lightbringer here, just because she is a strong, versatile unit. But that said, if Leumas is really comfortable with his super aggressive style and doesn't mind going through a tank, then yeah, Polyol and Watham are two more aggressive options that it's valuable for him to get rid of. And we have a Gin versus Gin battle on the way. Rice Crew, welcome to the stream. Rice Crew, still our latest subscriber. Good timing on that sub. Gets to see his name in lights a little bit longer than usual. Okay, and Onasi banning out the 2 characters who can counteract his McLean tiles and picking McLean early here. I was going to say that was probably a character that Leumas was going to be thinking about banning on this round. The tiles can be really oppressive in terms of approach. With McLean fielded now, he's instead going to ban out both of Onasi's healers, and he's going to be making an effort to pound down the team and not let them recoup. That said, McLean and Gintoki both have some self-sustain as well, so it's going to come down to what kind of an oppressive comp Leumas can pick for himself. Matthew's certainly a great pick for doing something like that. Onasi following suit a little bit, banning out the healers and picking his own Matthews, so we may see a little bit of an arms race here, a little bit of an escalation. The only difference is Leumas doesn't have access to that McLean anymore. Razor, the first game was a pretty quick one. Leumas had a very aggressive comp and basically catapulted his whole team in on the first turn and crippled Onasi's team, so he wasn't able to put anything together on turn 2. Okay, Leumas going with the IBC here. Again, her boost can kind of help counterbalance the McLean tiles slowing down his team, just by giving some of his units better mobility. Absol noticing that Onasi has no IBC in his box, so he won't be able to copy this pick. And Leumas still has access to Lucretia, Annie, and Dehart here as a 4th pick. All of them good options to counter Gintoki. He's going to get his Lost Him out. Lost Him pretty good on this map, as we saw last game. And he knows he's guaranteed to be able to get a Dehart or a Lucretia or an Annie as his last pick, because there are 3 of them, and you can only ban 2. So let's see if he does go with Dehart. So we have very, very similar team comps here. The only difference is Onasi has McLean as player 1, Leumas with IBC as player 2. Other than that, the other 4 DPS are all the same. In fact, the last remaining unpicked character was also the same, Epsilon on both sides. Pretty funny to see that happen. So pretty much, virtually a mirror match. Almost a literal mirror match. Yeah, I mean, functionally it is. IBC here is a good additional weapon against Gintoki. With her 3C in aggro stance, she does get first strike, she can attack from range, so she is able to one-shot him. But, I mean, both players have lots of weapons, both players have lots of things that they can use to pick around. It's certainly possible that we'll end up seeing like a late-game Gintoki versus Gintoki fest. Alright, so Onasi on the Steelwing Warriors here, to me, indicates that he's probably on Tiamat, and he wants that class mismatch to allow him to get the reduced incoming magic damage. Only really going to help him against Dehart's Soldiers and IBC here, and he's going with Faceless. Faceless and a Guard Ignore on his Lost Him. Leumas doesn't have a tank, so normally you would see Air Slash here. And yeah, so you see that adjustment being made by Leumas. He's got Air Slash, he's got Sandsea Mercenaries on his Lost Him. The IBC does go Unicorns. Alright, I'm going to be very interested to see how Onasi can make use of his McLean to help control the terms of engagement here. Really, the McLean being the only different character on his side, that makes him kind of his main difference maker in terms of limiting where and when Leumas is able to come in on him. So with good McLean use, maybe he can make something happen here. Although he doesn't use Lord of the Stream yet, so he's not going to have his assassin skill up next turn. He's going to have to use that first to switch it to the assassin skill. Yeah, Straw, unfortunately you're going to have to catch the replay for Game 1. It was basically a yeet clinic. A yeet clinic. We all had a free yeet lesson from Leumas. To be perfectly honest, Straw, the whole game is pretty much short enough to be a highlight. Yeah, Pizza making a good point that McLean is going to run into trouble on turn 3. There's no Lucretia on this side, or no real way to help speed up his cooldowns. So once he does blow his water skills, and these tiles start disappearing, there is going to be a gap before he can start putting tiles back up again. And that's something that Leumas is going to want to watch out for and capitalize on. Yeah, Onasi's also going to want to be careful about using too much backup time on these first 2 turns. Even with this aggressive comp, it does behoove Leumas to be a little bit more not careful per se, but a little bit more deliberate than he was in Game 1. He doesn't want to yeet through all this water without proper follow-up. So yeah, it looks like Leumas is going to try to be a little bit more patient and wait for these tiles to wear off. Get himself into a good position. The onus is kind of on Onasi as player 1 and as the owner of this water to get himself into a good attacking position for the next turn or 2. And if he doesn't take advantage of that, then Leumas may be able to counter-strike. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, Onasi with another D-Heart, a dangling D-Heart. 2 games in a row, the first move. Well, I mean, I guess Lostom went for the Golem first last time. But 2 games in a row with that dangling D-Heart. Misjudging the distance and letting Leumas come in and pick him off for free. I would not be surprised. I'd be fully sympathetic for Onasi going on tilt at this point, let's just say that much. It can be tricky on this match to really judge Lostem. Like, some people don't really pay attention to the dunes. But they're kind of hard to notice, you know what I mean? They just look like desert tiles. So Lostem runs all the way back to safety. He's now free to just hang out back here and wait for his cooldowns to burn off and look for another opportunity to do the same thing. Yeah, so hey, but that's a great point, though, and that's something that I think Straw and the other streamers have been trying to reiterate as much as possible, is there's a lot of different reasons to play Summit der Langrisser. Some people obviously are playing to win, the really good, experienced PvP players. There are a lot of players who are just playing for fun, like good old Kong. I just like to get a few matches in and have fun, and then retire to stream the rest of the matches for you all. And there are a lot of newer players in the Summit this season as well, so most of them got filtered out by the group stage. And definitely not categorizing Onasi in that category, so let's get that out of the way. But Summit der Langrisser as a whole is a really good opportunity to play PvP against other strong players, and then to kind of go back over your games and think like, oh, could I have done this differently? What was the main thing getting me into trouble in this game? Playing PvP, playing lots of matches is honestly the best way, not just to learn, but to get better. Once your plans and strategies kind of become muscle memory, then it becomes easier to execute stuff like that in real games. Alright, Leumas going to jump in with Matthew now, no reason not to, since he can easily just teleport back out for free. All the way back. And now without healing, without true healing, Onasi's team is left slowly climbing through this mid-map. So Dehard is going to be able to attack this Lostem if he wants as well. Leumas with the oppressive outranging of the enemy team. Gintoki can't do anything right now. Other than stay in a position where he's not going to get instantly sniped. Rice Crew, I'm glad you won a match at all. That's great. I mean, I advanced to the elimination phase having only won one of my games. Or I mean, I guess I won a match. So I won 3 games, 3 individual games in the group stage, and then 1 game in the elimination phase. But you learn from winning and losing. Onasi really thinking about what he's going to do with this. Or whether he's going to go in here and use one of these options. Certainly also on the table. That said, you can never fully write off a team that has Gintoki. He is a very powerful unit, very capable of carrying. Leumas has one too, though, which is certainly a scary problem when you're up against a healthy team like that with a Gintoki and your team is down a man already. Alright, so this Gintoki is actually in IBC range as well, so both of these units are in range. And if I'm Leumas, I honestly don't know why I wouldn't just take this opportunity. I mean, I guess the D-Heart's not buffed at all. But neither's this Lostum. He's also not on terrain. He also doesn't exactly have the most bulky troops. Okay, Leumas not gonna risk it. Not gonna expose his IBC to getting counter-killed quite yet. Although I think if he could reach, maybe. Well, the Gintoki's hurt too, so I don't know. I think it was a kill. Maybe Leumas was worried about the Tiamat. Maybe not. Oh, that's a good point, Meow. I wasn't even considering the McLean tiles. Yeah, no way he could have reached them. Yep, you're right. They're just so glossy and beautiful that I looked right through them. Okay, so Onasi taking that opportunity to jump with his own Matthew. He doesn't want to get out of this game without at least doing some damage on this team. So IBC with the buff block. Lost him with the buff block as well. That's fine. He can cycle through that pretty quickly, and he's not in a rush to do anything right now anyway. The bigger concern is this Matthew, who is fully ready to do another cannonball. I think this would be a different game, Meow, if McLean's abilities put dozens of girls out all over the map. Okay, Onasi, that's, in my opinion, not a terrible move to get his Gin back to safety and kind of wait things out a little bit. Although, like I was saying, the onus is, especially now that he's down a man and hurt, the onus is on him to make something happen. Leumas can kind of slowly creep up. He does have range advantage overall, so he's kind of able to slowly edge into the middle of the map, and the opportunity will come to Leumas sooner than it comes to Onasi to make a big play. So Onasi does have access to McLean's snipe skill right now, but he doesn't have his tidal move again. So in order for him to be able to snipe anything, it's going to have to be within 5 spaces of him. Noob Smog, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Enjoy your Seal Guardian. I mean, at least... Oh, there's the breeze on that D-Heart. So D-Heart can go around the tiles now with that breeze. Onasi does have turn priority if he wants to rescue his Lostum somehow. Not really in a position to be able to pick something off unless Leumas moves something into range. Okay, so Leumas, as I said, no reason not to. Just chuck Matthew into the Wolves' Den here. Gonna do some big damage to this team. And at that point, Matthew's job is done anyway. Okay, and that's it for Onasi. Just fed up fed up with all that, the meteor shower of Leumas damage. So GG to both players, thanks for coming out and playing. Leumas with the absolutely dominant full DPS comps in both games. Definitely something to go back and watch and take a look at exactly what he was doing there. And Onasi, to be honest, putting up a good fight. Just a couple of little positional mistakes, you can really see how they can tilt an entire game. Game 1, like I said, I think really just came down to leaving a couple of units just in range of getting picked off, maybe not noticing that D-Heart had that Watham debuff, and maybe not necessarily realizing that Leumas was going to be able to pick off the Golem from 3 range with the Faceless. And then in Game 2, just kind of a little bit of a trickier like team comp lineup issue, but leaving the D-Heart, the dangling D-Heart out in front again certainly didn't do any favors. With D-Heart there as player 1, it would help keep Leumas back a little bit more, and you may have been able to get a pick of your own. So yeah, just a couple of little positioning tweaks to clean up, and other than that, very interesting games, so thanks to both players. There can't be too many games left in the first round of this elimination match. I don't have Discord in front of me to double check. Why don't I bring it up, just so I can give y'all some news. Some news as we have it. Where is the stream schedule? Okay, today, Leumas. It looks like there's only one more game, and it looks like that's happening in about 15 minutes on Pizza's stream. And that is going to be Katakuri versus Axios. Definitely feel free to let me know in the chat, Pizza, if I'm wrong about that one. But if I'm not wrong, that means there's still some Apex to check out in the Summit der Langrisser. And once that match is over, we will be moving full on into the top 32, so there will be a lot more games to stream. I will definitely be streaming some of them, and lots of opportunities for you to check in and check out some more games like this one. So thanks for coming out to my stream, everyone. Don't forget, head over to Pizza's stream in about 15 minutes to catch the next Summit der Langrisser game, and I'm going to go set up my new monitor. Hopefully I'll get it all built and put together just in time to actually queue into some Apex myself later tonight. Catch you in the next one, everyone. Happy Langrising.